Join me for a nighttime photo walk, creating some incredible shots with a simple approach, sophisticated execution, and striking results. Hi, I'm Jerry Jonas, Westcott Top Pro, Nikon Ambassador, and your favorite Australian. I've been photographing for over 3 decades, and I can't wait to share with you my knowledge about photographing in places like this. There's a dumpster literally right behind me. We're using the Ice Light 3. This is the 3rd iteration of my invention, and I can't wait to show you the incredible results that we'll get using just simple handheld lights out in the environment. So, what am I seeing behind me right now? I'm seeing just a gate right in front of a dumpster. Now, where usually during the day, what I'd normally do is look for light first, location, then I'll pose someone, then I do my technique, then I add emotion. At nighttime, sometimes a location will guide me, but the light that I'm trying to find is usually the ambience. So in this particular case, well, there was nothing here. It was almost pitch black. I'm going to photograph one of my favorite models, a very close friend of mine. I've photographed Rainy probably 100 times, and it's here, it's cold in Vegas, but we're going to warm up to this particular shot. We're going to actually get an Ice Light 3 on the other side of this texture, create beautiful highlights and shadows on her face, and shoot with the Z8, the Nikon Z8, with a 105 macro. Can't wait to show you what I'm thinking right here. The important thing about tonight is recognizing creative triggers in our environment that gives me an idea that starts the birth of a scene or a particular shot that I'm doing. So obviously, if I was driving past here and I had someone holding a beautiful light behind this particular fence and a beautiful girl happened to walk in front of it, yes, I would take the photograph. So we are taking creative liberties here to create some really cool shots in different ways. So let's see what we get now. So Rainy, you're gonna come really close. Let's get you to turn your body this way a little bit. If you can, just sort of part your feet so you're a little bit shorter per se. Do me a favor and put all your hair behind your ear on that side. Right, mate, 100%. Yeah, go 100%. And then Bob, come close. So it's very interesting. I've actually got the Ice Light 3 on its brightest setting, but I'm going to sort of feather it away a little bit so I get some beautiful texture on Rainy's face. And first, I'll take the shot and then we'll build upon it. So I am shooting with an 85mm 1.2 lens, but I'm going to go quite dramatically high on my ISO and I have no problem doing that at all. I'm going to crop really close to her. Good, hold it there, hold it. Beautiful, give me a second. All right, ready, that's it. Gorgeous eyes at me. And then just looking downish. Beautiful, hold it. So as you can see, if I include some of this mesh gate in the actual shot and I'm exposing for Rainy, I'm at 200 speed f1.2, 5000 ISO. Now, it's purely because if I illuminate her properly, I'm not going to get those shadows. So if I get that foreground in the shot, it's going to look terrible, as you can see there. Now, you might be asking, why am I not using eye focus? Because I want critical focus. I want to sort of drive the car, so to speak. And now let's just get one more shot here. That's it, cropping just above her brow. That's it, hold it there. Eyes down there, Rennie. Good, hold it. Now, we'll introduce another light from behind. So I'm actually feeling, this is quite warm. I want to use the Ice Light RGB, have a beautiful, cool quality of light, a bluish tone right behind her, and just see that really cool contrast. All right, Rennie, turn your face more left. That's it, eyes down. That's beautiful, hold it there, love that. Go further away, Brennan. That's it, just there. Hold it there. All right, so as you can see, we've got the only one ice light on my right being the main key light there. So that's going to be the Ice Light 3 bicolor. And then we had the RGB ice light just illuminating her from behind. So you see the difference between on and off makes a massive difference. Now, certainly we can add texture and depth. We can add some light on the background there as well. Let's not be gritty in this particular spot, but I'm really liking this. I'm just feeling if there's one more thing we can do here. Let's have a look. So ready, come really close. Bring your face really close here and then turn your face again more towards me. Okay, well, there we go. Oh, there it is. Hold on. So what I'm seeing here is a sliver of shadow on the eye that's closest to the camera. I quite like it because it's giving us an accent on her jaw, but creating a very beautiful shadow right in the middle of her face. It almost looks like the shadow of another human being, another silhouette from her face. Hard to explain, but have a look at what I'm looking at here. That's gorgeous, Rennie, hanging there down. That's gorgeous. That's it. Okay. Eyes at me. I'm here with a very cool truck at a local car park, and I've got some ambient light in the background, and I've got Rainey just sitting here looking really cool. I've just posed her in a way that's not too perfect. It's a bit more raw to go with the theme that she's wearing, a leather jacket and leather pants, all that kind of stuff. And now our idea is that we're actually going to expose for the ambience. That's what we'll determine our exposure with, and then we'll add an ice light to illuminate her as the main light. So we chose this location based upon the ambience first. The ambient light, that's the existing light in our environment, just hitting the background. So we determine our exposure based upon that. Then we already parked the truck here already. I'm like, well, wait a second, rather than move the car, how do we actually take advantage of the situation? So we put Rennie up on there, took a couple of shots, and it was nice. I felt like we needed a bit more light on her body in that little sliver. So the barn doors contain the light, and we get a beautiful quality of light as well. So here's the shot before. This is just using the existing ambience, and then we turn the light on. The very first shot that we took, we mainly focused on her. I think it was more dramatic, didn't feel sort of organic enough. Now, that particular shot works a lot better because we've got a natural vignette on the whole shot. We've got a bit more light hitting her pants there as well. That little slivers of light, that contrast, those catch lights on her pants look really, really cool. And we've given her more of a raw pose with her hands as well, which I quite like. We're here just off Main Street in Las Vegas, actually looking for ambient light and using it in the background, balancing up the light in the foreground on our subject and allowing that beautiful color in the background to really shine through. In this case here, we've got all these colors in the background. That'll be out of focus. So I'm going to determine my exposure for that ambient light first and then add my light in the foreground. So let's get Rainey here to actually lean on that particular bench. We might get kicked out, maybe not. Let's see what happens. So we're using the ice light as our main light, and of course it's illuminating Rainey. We've got those lights in the background. Now those lights are deceptively bright. So right now I'm shooting at a shutter speed of 250 f1.2, 500 ISO. So let's just turn that light off there, Bob, and you'll sort of see the difference. So right now I'm shooting without the ice light, and then let's turn it on. So it's a massive difference. Certainly the further away we go from those lights, the more bokeh we're going to basically see, like the more of those Christmas lights are going to appear a lot larger. So let's go a little bit closer and see if we can actually amplify the effect of what we've already got full length, because I'm not crazy about this vertical shot, but I think if we go closer, it's going to look a lot better. All right, Bob, just come around more this way and turns, and then go a bit dimmer. That's it, right about there. Okay, so you can clearly see now that I'm actually shooting at 1.2, and that out of focus background just looks so much better than before. So now I'm just sort of lowering my angle and just working out which of that background I'm going to actually see. That's it, just there. That's it. Beautiful, Rainey. Eyes at me. Eyes here again. So as you can see, that first shot was okay. That vertical shot was fine, but as we went closer to her, compressed the background with the 85mm f1.2 lens on the Nikon Z8, we exposed to that background. They were all out of focus. Those Christmas lights become super huge, and then we've got that beautiful light balancing up in the foreground. So the idea is that we're shooting with a daylight white balance, putting 5500 Kelvin degrees on that particular light, and everything works well. People often think that mixed lighting is a problem and that's an issue. I mean, look at every movie that you've ever seen. Mixed lighting exists in our environment. If I wanted to and match the yellow or the blue or the red kind of colors of light that exist in our environment, I can use the Ice Light RGB mode. But in this particular case, I think that clean light really worked, and that pop of color in the background, that explosion of color, really lends itself to this photograph. I'm going to just try something a little bit wider, something in between as that we did before. There we go. So you can see how our environment told us what to do. The creative trigger here was the existing ambient light. We've got a bar that's basically closing right now. So I'm thinking, well, maybe she can just put her elbow on there. It was cold, and I'm thinking, well, it is cold. So I'm thinking that that's an idea to put her hands in the pocket there as well. So although it looks quite simple in the design of this particular shot, there's a lot of nuances that I want to share with you as we're doing it. But those particular colors look really cool. It just gives us a really fun way of playing with the environment. The existing Christmas lights there acted as a bit of an edge light, which was really fun. And then of course the Ice Light 3 in the bicolor gave us that beautiful main light, which I love. So just remember, you can use the existing light around you as your ambient light, as your edge light, as your hair light. You just have to recognize the studio in your environment. Everything exists, you just got to recognize it. And of course, if you need light, you push it in, and there's nothing easier than the Ice Light 3 to just walk around, have some fun with, and really match the ambient. So lots of fun. At the start of my career, I'll always look at backgrounds like this and say, okay, I'm going to put my subject all the way to the background. They'll always be next to that tree, next to that wall. But often when I see a wall like this, and I'm seeing that texture because we've got that light really close to the wall, I'm picturing everything out of focus. So often a good way of doing that is looking at your environment and just squinting, and you'll get a sense of what things look like out of focus. So I like the idea of actually getting Rainey away from this wall, shooting at a very shallow depth of field, and getting that texture looking really, really cool. Now, I want it to be quite moody. She's wearing a sort of like a biker jacket, so I'm thinking that we lift the collar up because I want that sort of mood, and that's the starting point. Let's just see where we go with that. And we're going to use the Ice Light 3 as our main light source. So we have existing ambient light, as you can see, and if we look on her face, if I put my hands over her face, you can clearly see that there's actually light existing that's going to either hurt or help us right now. I feel like if we can actually overpower it, it might be good, but I'm feeling that we get the Ice Light with the barn doors, have a little sliver of light, create some mood and depth and drama. We'll see if we can overpower what's right here. So my first impression with this shot was to go horizontal with a bit of negative space, and it looked good. But the problem was part of the sign in the background, it was quite dark. It sort of ruined the shot there a little bit. Then as I went further back, the wind caught her hair a little bit more, and just literally allowing that light to filter through on her hair, I think that beautiful glow happened, and that mix of warm light along with the clean quality of light from the Ice Light 3 look really good. So that one there is just it's a good breakdown of using your environment and having some fun with it. But great hair day right now, right? All right, let's keep on walking. I've stumbled across this building with changing lights here with different colors, which I think is really cool. And because we're doing more of a street sort of urban scene at night, I need to give Rainey an excuse to be in the situation that she's in to make it look believable. So perhaps she's just putting her hands in her pockets, going for a walk. So I need some pretty cool body language with her toe out, and then sort of just hunched around, feeling cold, but looking really, really cool. So let's do this. Let's lazy Susan you. Okay, so you notice what I just did there? Lazy Susan means she's on a turntable. She keeps the pose, and then she moves left and right. Love that light out of focus, those beautiful colors in the background, just looking all smudged. Really soft, really cool, beautiful catch lights in the eyes, gorgeous quality of light. It's fantastic. So we've got this really cool truck here. Apparently it's called a Jimmy from 75. A little bit younger than me, but that's okay. So right now I'm using the car in a bit of a slightly different way. Rather than getting her in it, which I'll probably do shortly, I'm just getting her right on the edge there, giving us a framework to play with. There's a bit of ambient light sort of hitting her, but I'm going to get a sliver of light focus right on her to give us a bit of a bit more character in this shot, a bit more contrast and a bit more depth. So as I'm looking at this shot, I'm thinking that I need something in the background. I'm thinking, how cool would it be to have like a cold quality of light inside the car? So I'm going to get an RGB Ice Light 3 right inside the car with a little hint of blue, maybe a teal, I'm not too sure yet. And then we'll have some clean light hitting her. So I'm going to do that right now. There's so many ways that I can photograph this. My instinct first was to go vertical. Then I started looking at the shot, cropping just sort of below her legs a little bit and almost having that harmony of those circles. You've got the circular wheels, of course, and the steering wheel itself. So that's basically framing the shot. So I'm cutting into those, which I quite like. But that warm quality of light in the foreground looks beautiful. And that cinematic teal color that we often see combined with a warm tone just looks really beautiful. Important thing here is that I'm trying to not distract her head with the steering wheel coming out of her head and all that kind of stuff, but putting her in somewhat negative space to feel decent about that shot there too. So I'm going to just refine a little bit and just keep on playing until I'm happy with this scene. So it was interesting here, like I had that light within the car illuminating that background, giving us that really beautiful quality of light, that little edge light. And then we illuminated her, but it was a little bit too bright. So the idea is that we basically open up the exposure a little bit to get some ambience hitting the car, general ambience. That's basically hitting me right now. So as I did that, I was actually at 80 speed f1.2, 640 ISO. I feel like I was being a little bit dangerous there with my shutter speed, but let me go close to make sure that I'm okay with that particular quality of light. So if I zoom up, perfectly sharp, looking really good. I've got her in the negative space between the steering wheel and the actual car there as well. What I liked about what she just did, she leant forward and a bit of light inside the car filtered and reflected off that doorway. And we allowed that beautiful quality of light to come through. But it's a great way of actually using the Ice Light 3 bicolor color mode with the Ice Light 3 RGB color. Let's now take a few more shots in and around the car to finish off our shoot for tonight. Going from opening up that sort of door, going from the other angle, using that ambient light in the background, and then just keep on adding more ingredients until you get that shot. For me, those last couple of shots were really the hero. This particular shot in this mirror, I love it because it feels organic, like there was a car in the background with headlights just illuminating her, which I thought was really fun. And then to be able to go a little bit closer, having that shadow cross her face a little bit, and that little hint of highlight on her jaw, contrasting with that warm and cool tones was really, really cool. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that. It's really fun for me. This kind of photo walk is exactly what I love to do, is just walk around, look at some ambience, create something out of nothing. Now, certainly it helps that we have a gorgeous model in Rainy, but it still takes someone to bring out the best in that subject. Certainly a car helps as well, but we've just used the ambience around us. My suggestion is that you slow down, you take your time, look what's around you, diagnose it, and seeing how you can bring out the best in it. Make sure that you like, share, and comment. What I specifically would love to see you do in this particular video in the comment section is tell me the photograph that you like the most and why. And I'd love to see what you guys do with a light that's all around you. And perhaps if you want to get an incredible quality of light, grab the Ice Light 3, have some fun, walk around, create something out of nothing. And certainly when you're in a controlled environment, you can get even better shots too. But this is what it's all about, using what's around you, adding the existing light, getting some killer shots.